What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the newest studio album from Logic, his fourth studio album, entitled Young Sinatra IV. It's so weird to think that this is the third project. No, no, not the third project. This is like maybe the fourth project from Logic that I've reviewed on this channel. The first project I ever listened to was actually this, The Incredible True Story, which put me on Logic and made me go back and listen to his first album, Under Pressure. Now, since then, well, since my first time listening to Logic with The Incredible True Story, he's dropped Bobby Tarantino, which was in 2016, like what, June or July of 2016. Um, Everybody last year, which it was a cool album. I think it was very important as far as the suicide prevention hotline song being on there. I don't know the number. I just know it's I just know it's 1-800. Um, and he was on his, he was starting to annoy people with the whole half black, half white things, especially after he said he wouldn't talk about it anymore. And then Bobby Tarantino 2 dropped earlier this year, which I didn't. I don't even think I spoke. Yeah, I didn't even speak about it. Badass cover though, just like Bobby Tarantino, the first mixtape. But yeah, he's back with this Young Sinatra. They're usually just mixtapes. He dropped Young Sinatra, the first one, in 2011, then 2012, Young Sinatra Undeniable, then Young Sinatra Welcome to Forever, which that and Under Pressure seem to be the favorite projects from the people who've just been listening to Logic, like the real OG Rat Pack, yeah, OG Rat Pack guys and girls. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into this. But it's just so weird to think it's his fourth album, just considering that when I first heard him, it was the second album. Then I go back to the first one. Then I hear Everybody, and I think before I even heard Everybody, I went back to hear Undeniable and Welcome to Forever. So I, I was going backward listening to Logic, not going well, moving forward at least from the start to where we are now. So let's go ahead and get right into this. This was like 14 tracks, I believe. It was it was a it was a good hour and 16 minutes because there were some extended time stamps on these tracks, on just a few, but they were very extended, especially the last track. But we'll get into that when that time comes. Actually, I want to first talk about these first tracks that I don't really have much to say about. Not that I don't feel that they're essential to the project. They're just like they're not the they're not the meat and potatoes of this album for me. So the first one I want to talk about is Ordinary Day, featuring um, who was that featuring? Okay, Haley Steinfeld. This is just a very upbeat, dancey type of beat, and Logic here is just saying that it was an ordinary day until this girl came his way. And Haley Steinfeld, I've seen that name before. She um, has this. Not, hold on, actually, let me make sure it's the same girl because I'm not thinking about. Okay, yeah, I've definitely seen that name and seen her before. And actually, I saw the comments to this song on YouTube. She's more popular than I had thought when I first saw that the feature was even on here. And the next track that I want to talk about, that, like I said, just not really the meat and potatoes for me, is 100 Miles and Running, featuring Wale and John. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Hold on. Lindahl. Okay. Uh, Really, all I have to say here is that it's just funky, so I'm just gonna like. It's not Frank Sinatra here. It's freaking Funky Sinatra here, and that's pretty much what this track is. Cool that he got Wale on here. That Wale wasn't annoying. I mean, because I like Wale, but I don't listen to him like that. At least these these new projects from him these past 3-4 years, it's like. But yeah, for him to get Wale on here, representing DC, representing DMV, both of them, it's pretty cool to see that. So now let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this project. The first track on here is titled "Thank You," featuring Lucy Rose and the Rat Pack. And this was just a thank you from Logic to the Rat Pack because they're always thanking him for his music, which helps them because it has, um, well, just the message of PLP, peace, love, and positivity, um, knowledge. He like really talking about the knowledge that he drops. Him and the Rat Pack, not Rat Pack on this album, but on this song at least. So yeah, this is just a thank you from the fans to Logic. It reminded me of what um, Flatbush did on their first album, 2001: A Laced Odyssey. The last track on there, I think it was the last track on there. They had the fans leave voicemails and things like that, and they put it on the album. The fans didn't know if it was real or not, so I don't know how Logic fans took that, but yeah. Next track, Everybody Dies. A very like fun kind of Super Mario vibe, like a very just a sequency type of beat, and here Logic is really coming for like the heads of everybody in hip hop and in every genre. Like he even said that he makes music for every subgenre and genre, and he kind of declared himself the GOAT, actually. And he was talking about how he gets hated on for what he stands for, what he believes in, and his messages. Um, and he's talking about how he's sitting on like 5 albums that are just unreleased right now. So it's like, this is one of my favorite tracks because not only is he so confident, is he so liquid here, or so fluid here, but just that beat too. The next track, The Return, here he's just saying how he's kind of at this point surpassed his heroes. Like he even talked to Jay Hove, and he actually, I like how he invited him to get on a track with him. And then he talked about he also planned to hear from Guru, which um, I mean I'm sure Logic knows that he's passed, but maybe he wants posthumous Guru vocals if there are any left. I'm not sure, but for him to name drop those two, it's like, all right, like you really want it then, and not just them, but everybody too. Like he wants it from everybody. As far as like, oh, I just want to hear you rap. I want the flows. I want the bars. I want the lyrics. Not just the real rappers, but mumble rappers. If y'all got it too, I feel like he's talking to them too. So so yeah. Next one is the Glorious Five, which is this beat is just so freaking beautiful. It's just good vibes. That's really what this track is, and at one point, Logic felt like he was rapping from the standpoint, well, from the point of view of one of his, well, some of his most devoted fans, which was very cool to hear that actually. He talked about how Logic, you don't let fame and everything go to your head, you stay humble, which is why you're so lovable and why you're such an inspiration. So that was cool as well. The next track, oh yeah, there was that track One Day featuring Ryan Tedder. I'm not really much to say here other than just saying like one day, like if all of this is gonna pay off, all the time, um, maybe money, um, blood, sweat, tears, anxiety, pressure, everything. It's all everything that's been invested into this, or that's been brought out of you. It's gonna and brought out of Logic. It'll one day it'll pay off. It'll be that one payoff or multiple payoffs. Like it'll all be worth it one day. That's pretty much what this track was about. Now, moving on to WuTang Forever. Just the fact that he got WuTang on here, I mean, he got WuTang on here, like Jizza, Raekwon the Chef, Ghostface, RZA, Method, Inspector, Capadonna, You God, Master Killer, Jack Spot, um, Scotty Dotty. I mean, Scotty Waddy. It's like, my goodness. Now, did RZA produce the? Okay, it was Six and Nas. Well, N-A-Z, not Nas. But yeah, just the fact that he got Wu Tang on here. See, what he did here is what I feel like. Well, with the exception of the Wu Tang feature, I don't know if Drake would have got this, but I feel like this is what Drake fans might have wanted when he had Wu Tang Forever. Nothing was the same. But Logic, like he did his thing on here. He proved that he can hang with the heaviest of hitters, the heaviest heavyweight rhyme riders. Like, just jeez. So good for you, Logic. Next track, already did 100 miles on running in Ordinary Days, you remember? So YSIV, Young Sinatra IV, track number 9. Real smooth shit right here. No one else, at least from what I saw, has noticed this so far. With that whole banana 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 banana, that was it's not looped the whole time in the beat, but it's looped when it is being played for the certain part of the bridge. Um, Milkbone, Keep It Real. It's the beginning of that track. It doesn't have the his vocals, Milkbone's vocals, but it does have those horns, banana, and Milkbone had an AZ sample, well, a vocal sample from Life's a Bitch, um, which was when he was featured on Nas off of Illmatic. So for Logic to have the same, not the exact same, but vocals from the exact same song at least, from AZ, it's like Logic is a hip hop head. Like whether you like him or not, you can't doubt that he's a hip hop head. Like he studied the culture and he studied the most essential pieces, albums, songs, whatever of the genre and the culture. So shout out to Logic for getting that. And it was a good beat switch. Like that beat switch really fucked me up. I was like, what, man? But actually on the beat switch, getting more to his storytelling abilities, where he told the tale of two young homies who they got killed by cops, but not for what you think it might be. Yeah, they got killed because one of the guys had a gun on him, and the only reason he pulled his gun out on him was because he thought his boy was stealing from him, like stealing his rocks from him, because they were selling in the street, and so yeah, like because of money, uh, two friends lost a friendship and lost both of their lives. So that was kind of chilling, but like I said, Logic, he can tell stories, he can flow. Like whether you like him or not, Logic can rap. So yeah. Next track number 10, Street Dreams 2. Here it's just a street tale, but not. It was Logic's street tale. Of course, I don't believe this was real. Of course, like Logic was talking about how I had to pull the shotty and kill the freaking dude in the convenience store, and all Logic wanted to do was get some gas and shit. but, but yeah, of course, it was just a dream, and I really got that vibe too. Like this felt like a real tale, and it felt like some songs that I've heard before, like that song "Vigilante," which is Euro Droog and Wiki that they did on their What Happened to Fire EP last year. Feel like I'm the one who's doing dope. UGK Pimp C's story, rest in peace. Um, but yeah, so next track, The Adventures of Stony Bob featuring Kjo, Sladro, and Big Limbo. Big Limbo. Shout out to Big Limbo. He had one of the best features, maybe the best feature on The Incredible True Story. I thought that was Big Pun rapping. Of course, it wasn't. Pun's been dead since like what, 2000, 2001. But yeah, Adventures of Stony Bob. It's just it's just a Munchies track. That's what it is. Like honestly, it's just Munchies music. It's a dedication to Mary Jane. That's what it is. So it was cool. Track number 12, Legacy. Well, I just got a little deeper here. He was just talking about like what his legacy would be and what he would leave behind after everything that he's done. Not just being a rapper, but what kind of person was he? And well, an extension. Him being a rapper is just an extension of the kind of person he is. Um, with PLP representing, well, putting on for Rat Pack, putting on for himself and his family, um, friends, and people that have helped him get as far as he is. He's like, so what kind of legacy will I leave behind? So I'm trying to think. Does Logic have kids now? Like, did he on this track or before? Maybe I didn't know, but did he just tell the world that he has a son now? I believe. Like, did he just tell his son? I mean, tell the world that? Because he talked about his wife. I thought they got divorced. I forget what her name is. But yeah, it's like this track might be an older track that was being recorded. He did say he was recording this when he was 27, and we'd hear when he was 28. So things probably have changed since then. But yeah, hold on. What is this? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, just we wanted to know what kind of legacy he was thinking about, the kind of legacy that he would leave behind. He was just thinking about the path that he's paving. Track number 13, Iconic, featuring Jaden Smith. Not really much to say other than that it's a banger. Jaden Smith did not rap, which, I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't, I don't listen to Jaden Smith. I mean, I did hear the first album. What was it even called? It wasn't called Icon, was it? Let's see, because we have it right here. Hold on. His first album was uh, entitled Sire. Okay, yeah, but yeah, Logic. I mean, Jaden just spoke here. Logic, he rapped, of course. It was like one of the heaviest sound, the heaviest drums and bass on here. Not even necessarily heavy, but just repeating bass in your ear. Like that. That's what made it heavy. So it was a banger. And the last track, Last Call, which is just Logic. Um, Here, let me see. I actually had the notes here that about how it reminded me of Note to Self off of Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive. You remember that last track on here with how long it was and everything? He was doing like the credits. Well, that's what Logic even shouted out Cole here and Big Sean and everybody. Um, he kind of told his story like he like name dropped some, not name dropped, but he just talked about his musical journey here from the mixtapes to his first show, like opening up for Ghostface Killer, um, everything. So he just kind of just told you about his musical journey and just how far he's gotten. He told the whole Rat Pack that he loves them and said thank you once again after doing a thank you on the first track. So yeah, this is a nice step up for me as far as Logic, as far as the last few projects, because everybody I was like, it's cool, especially with the opening track, Black Spider Man, 1-800. A few other tracks on here were on that project. What else was important? Um, well, yeah, the first it was Hallelujah, um, and all those tracks, Anxiety. So yeah, there was that. Then there was well, actually, you know what? Ever since Bobby Tarantino, and then everybody, and then Bobby Tarantino too, I was like, okay, Logic, please don't tell me that I'm about to lose you. But no, not at all. He drops this, and I think it's better than everybody, just in the sense of how I think it's better just as far as how much I enjoyed it. As far as what I think the better album is, what's more important, more impactful, what I think is going to have more of an impact. Everybody definitely has more of an impact. There's not a song on here that I think is going to have more of an impact than 1-800 did. Um, Bobby Tarantino, at least that little series. I thought Bobby Tarantino the first was better than the second. But for Logic to take Young Sinatra, which was exclusively a mixtape series, and to make the fourth installment an album is very bold for him. But it turned out well because I really enjoyed this project. Um, and I thought about something when I was listening to this project. I was like, Wayne has dedication. Logic has Young Sinatra. Um, Now, which one's better? Well, which one's more impactful? I could even say it was. I could even say. Um, I could say Young Sinatra. What do I like more? Young Sinatra. I'm more Wayne Logic than Wayne. More for Logic than Wayne. But then you have the Carter. So if I was doing like Young Sinatra versus the Carter wins. Like the Carter four, no, the Carter three. I think it's the Carter three. Yeah, Carter three. Like it's not even a competition. But yeah, Wayne has his own little series. His own series. Logic has his own series. He has Young Sinatra. So good for Logic. But good for him to make it an album too. If I had to give this album a rating though, if I had to give this album a rating, I'd give it a solid 7.25 to a 7.5. I like how with Logic albums, they're always longer than 15 minutes. Sometimes they're 25 to 30 minutes. But yeah, if you've heard this album, go ahead and let me know what you think about it in the comment section below and what you think about my review on it. If you haven't heard this album, I definitely recommend that you check it out. But if you're a Logic fan, I know you've probably already checked it out before this review was even up. You were probably right on it. I didn't know it was dropping until the day that it dropped. I was like, oh shit. Oh no, about a week before it dropped. I was like, oh shit. All right then. So yeah. Um, I think I said everything though. Yeah. Be sure to hit the like button though. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you like the content that you see. Um, Subscribe, of course. Check the description. See everything. My social medias. Just everything. Just check the description. You'll see what you need. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all next time.